Good morning, Frankfurt. Good morning. One more time, because that was almost a little bit better. Good morning, Frankfurt. Good morning. My name is Mr. Williams. Can I have complete silence, please? Computers closed, please. Computers closed, please. Silence means zero noise, zero talking. My name is Mr. Williams, and I have the privilege of running the College Access Program here at Frankfurt High School. This is Ms. Watson. She's our Gear Up Coordinator from the School District of Philadelphia. And we are proud to put on this career speaker Frankfurt alumni panel for you all today. Yeah, give me. Before we get started, you guys have already demonstrated how respectful you guys can be. I just want to make sure that you know that all of our guests have taken off of work and or driven up to 2 hours to be here with us today. So let's make sure we give them our undivided attention. This is a very small space with a very low ceiling, so any whispering, talking, and chattering will be heard and felt up here. So in order to be respectful of our guests who have taken off their time to be here, let's just keep everything to a silence. Sound good? Thank you. I want to quickly read off our introductions, so please bear with me because they're pretty long. Anasia Proctor, raise your hand. She attended Frankfurt High School from freshman to senior year, where she played multiple sports, including volleyball and flag football. She was also involved in student council for all 4 years and served as student representative for her junior year. After graduating from Frankfurt, she started a career at Bloomsburg University, where she's pursuing a double major in criminal justice and sports management. She is also active in the student government at Bloomsburg called Cages. However, she recently decided that Bloomsburg was not the right fit for her, and she will be continuing her double major at IUP, which is Indiana University at Pennsylvania, for the upcoming spring semester. Let's welcome Anasia Crocker to our panel. Next, Mr. Eugene Buddha Thomas. Raise your hand. Eugene Buddha Thomas is the president and co-founder of the nonprofit organization Power Circle Mentors, which she established in 2015. As a social entrepreneur and business owner, Thomas was born and raised in the Frankfurt section of Philadelphia. Let's give it up for Mr. Eugene Thomas. Miss Crystal Greer. She attended Frankfurt High School from 2001 to 2005 and was on the National Honor Society, Student Union, captain of the dance team, and many other clubs. After graduating high school, she went on to Bloomsburg University of Pennsylvania, where she studied English and law. She graduated from there in 2009, earning a Bachelor's of Science degree in political science. From there, she attended Keller Graduate School of Management, where she earned a Master's of Public Administration with a concentration in government management. In 2015, she started her federal career in Queens, New York, and later transferred back to Philadelphia to work for the Department of Veteran Affairs. Her current job function is to work cases for deceased veterans and or families from all branches of the service. This work is very rewarding serving our nation's veterans and soldiers that have served this country by dedicating and sacrificing their lives. She currently holds many titles and volunteers in different organizations that provide mentoring to youth and to the community. Can we welcome Ms. Crystal Greer to our panel? And last but certainly not least, we have Mr. Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith is an investment advisor representative and financial planner with Equitable Advisors. As a financial planner, Ryan takes pride in breaking complex planning scenarios into smaller, manageable pieces to assist his clients in understanding how their investments, insurances, and tax legal obligations all play a part in their long-term financial situation. Ryan has extensive knowledge and experience in the employer-sponsored area. He has expanded his knowledge to become a retirement benefit specialist of tax shelter plans and a certified financial planner professional. Throughout his career, Ryan has built a diverse client base consisting of educators, self-employed individuals, small business owners, schools, and nonprofit organizations. Ryan is committed to using his experience and expertise to make a real impact in fighting for wealth equality and bridging the racial wealth gap for the Black community. Ryan is a Philadelphia native and former all-public basketball player. Ryan carries the same ethics of hard work, integrity, and zeal learned on the basketball court to his business. Ryan has obtained several production awards, including District Leaders Court, National Leader Court, and Centurion Producer. He has the highest level of service. Ryan attended Clarion University of PA, where he became a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated in the spring of 2007, and earned his bachelor's degree in finance in spring of 2010. He currently resides in Willow Grove, PA, with his wife, Michelle, and their two children, Ryan and Mira. Can we welcome Mr. Ryan Smith to our panel? Our first question is for Ms. Crocker. I'm passing it off to Ms. Watson.
Good morning, everyone. All right, so this question is for Ms. Crocker. As a student involved in sports and student council, how did you balance your academic responsibilities with your extracurricular activities?
When it comes to college, it's a lot different than high school. You have to put yourself on the schedule no matter what. Especially doing sports in college is a lot more difficult than it is in high school, and I learned that the hard way. So basically, before you even go, once you get your college schedule, please make sure that you're putting yourself on a schedule so that way you can balance your work and school, especially if you're working in college, it adds a lot more stress into it. I can't say it enough that college is nowhere near high school.
I have another question for you as well. What has been the most surprising lesson you've learned since starting college, and how do you think it can help the students here today?
To be honest, my lesson that I've learned is to do your work, especially when it comes to high school. Because when I came into college, I was like, "This is no biggie. This gonna be easy." And then when the first week of classes hit, I was like, "Whoa, slow down." 6-page essays back to back. They all had to be at least like 8,000 words. So like it was like a lot of work. So what I did was just basically take my time because I had like classes where like I didn't have like days where I had no classes at all. So I just took that time and did all my work. And I think that was the biggest lesson I learned. Just stay focused on your work.
I appreciate that, Anisha. Our next question is for Ms. Crystal. Ms. Crystal, can you tell us about your current role at the Department of Veteran Affairs? And also answer this question. Working with veterans can be very impactful. Can you share a moment in your career that made you feel especially proud of your work?
Yes, so currently I hold the title as the medical pension rater. So that means if your parents, grandparents, or siblings, uncles, cousins, if they have served in any of the branches of service, which could be the Army, which could be the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, or the Coast Guard, if they get injured, right, if they get sick during their time while serving, it can even just be in boot camp, not even in active war. If they get injured or sick, they can be compensated. And how that happens is they will submit their file to the VA. I will review their cases, their claims, and I will determine based on their service record of where they were and how their sickness or illness relates to their service. So for example, excuse me, we have veterans who have served on Navy ships, who have been exposed to asbestos, who have developed lung disease. So I can service connect that and grant them monetary benefits for them and their families. And then we have, God rest their souls, our soldiers who have passed away. Now, they also have families that they leave behind, right? So we have to ensure that these families are taken care of. And the way that we do that is we find out what was the cause of death, and we relate that to their service, and we're able to provide benefits as far as health insurance and education for their children, their spouses, and for their families as a way of saying thank you for serving our country. So one of the things that I'm most proud of is just ensuring that we taking care of our veterans because, like I said, they put their life on the front line for us. So I feel like it is our duty as U.S. citizens, even if we have served or not, is to take care of them and honor them in any way that we can. So one of my most memorable things is, just providing and overturning cases for people who have been denied, making sure that their families are taken care of.
Thank you very much.
And we just had one of our guests join us, Miss Anasia Prado. Can we give her a round of applause, please? I'll quickly read her bio. She's a 21-year-old junior studying business administration at the Cheney University of Pennsylvania, the nation's first historically black college and university. A 2022 graduate of Frankford High School, Anasia is dedicated to achieving her academic and professional goals as a Keystone Honors student with a full scholarship. After completing her undergraduate degree, she plans to attend law school to further her passion for legal studies and justice. Anasia is preparing to make a meaningful impact in the world of business and law. Welcome, Anasia Prado.
This next question is for Mr. Eugene Buddha Thomas. You founded a nonprofit organization. What inspires you to give back to your community, and how can young people get involved?
Good morning, everybody. I know it's early. I see some people still sleep and stuff, so I wanted to do something real quick because we just jumped right into it. So I just want to do one giveaway real quick. And anybody want to volunteer to give me 3 goals? Go ahead. I appreciate you. What's your name? Maurice. Say it one more time. I'm gonna give you the mic.
My goals are to go to college. My second goal is to find an apartment. My third goal is to find a job.
Appreciate you. So that's something we do in my mentoring program. We make sure that we remind y'all every day to write down your goals, say your goals, because it's important at the age y'all at now. Y'all gonna be out of high school as soon as you blink your eye. And to answer the question, for me, I still be in shock in the type of work that I do. Like I just was sitting across from y'all a couple years ago. Well, I'm gonna say a minute ago, and I would never ever imagine me being in this position that I'm in, doing the type of work that I do. So what guided me to really starting my program was just my life experience, like everything that I've been through growing up. Witnessing a lot of, like, my best friend passed away right next to me, witnessing walking home from this school, seeing dead bodies on the ground. So it was really for me to kind of just change that cycle and break that cycle and just kind of break generational curses. So that's what kind of led me into, I always say my pain guided me to my passion. And what was the other question? What inspired me? Oh, so yeah, and really, so truthfully, Frankford really inspired me because I remember, so I played football. I got a championship jacket here when I graduated, and I remember a couple years later just going back to the football field, volunteering, with the youth, help coaching, and also just remember that the generation was just transitioning. Like it was a lot of bad music being put out, a lot of kids cursing at the coaches, disrespecting the adults. And I just wanted to see change, and that's what really like clicked in my head that I wanted to start a nonprofit of after school program. And I remember going to the principal. I forget the principal name at the time, but I was trying to bring my program into the school to kind of substitute the people that get suspended all the time, that get in trouble, to get expelled, to come to my class to be able to provide the resources and stuff. And that's where I got inspired. And we've been doing it for 10 years now, and yeah, we going at it. And then what I expect from the kids in my program, I got a couple kids in here that's in my program, that been in my program for a couple years now. We just want y'all to be great, like just be able to kind of meet the connections that, like little things that y'all might need that discourage y'all from being great. Like y'all might need a birth certificate, y'all might need a social that can't get a job, and y'all might not know where to go. So it's just really being able to utilize my connections to connect those dots.
Now I'll quickly introduce our last guest. This is Miss Samantha Banks. She's a proud graduate of Frankford High School, class of 2006. She has built a career dedicated to helping others achieve to their fullest potential. During her high school years, Samantha was an active member of the Senior 12, Grenades, and the National Honor Society. She also held the esteemed position of Senior Vice President for her graduating class, demonstrating her leadership skills early on. Today, Samantha is a licensed behavior specialist with extensive educational accomplishments. She holds an associate's degree in psychology, a bachelor's degree in human services, a master's degree in nonprofit leadership, and a postgraduate certificate in applied behavior analysis. Her academic journey and professional expertise reflect her commitment to making a meaningful impact in the field of behavioral health and beyond.
All right, our next question is from Ms. Banks. With your background in psychology and behavior, what do you think is one of the important skills every student should develop to succeed?
Good morning, y'all. I'm sorry I was late. This building looks different now. I was lost in the trailer. I was like, what is going on? But I will say, to be successful, it is very important that you have appropriate social skills, right? Even with my degrees and my education, the position I work in, I got because of the relationships that I have built. So it is very, very important to know how to talk to people, to know how to listen to people, to know how to communicate with people, not to take things personal, come to work, do your job, say hello, greet people, and it'll get you far in life.
Thank you, Ms. Banks. Our next question goes to Ms. Anasia Prado. Speaking of degrees, as a current student at Cheney University, what advice would you give to these students, these ninth grade, these students here at main campus, about choosing the right college and/or major?
Hello everyone, my name is Anasia, and my tip and advice for all of you would definitely be to be good, go to class, get good grades, but also just see what you like and what you don't like. So like at Frankford, you know, try to take a class to see if you like it or not. I know like when I was here a couple years ago, I did choir with Miss Wizoff, I did aviation, so I took a lot of different courses to see, hey, do I like this, do I like aviation, do I like STEM, or do I like music? I overall decided to pick Cheney and become a business administration major because I really like math and I like to learn about businesses, and I love to just learn about how I can help my community and black-owned businesses created by brown and black women. And I picked Cheney overall because they gave me a scholarship, and my mom also went to Cheney, and we just have a lot of good connection and a lot of good resources. So when picking a college, make sure that you can have good resources, that they give you scholarships, and you know, you go overall just have the best experience that you can have.
Can she explain the details of her scholarship at Cheney University?
So I'm a part of the Keystone Honors Scholarship Academy at Cheney University. So I graduated Frankfurt with a 3.6 GPA, so that made me qualified for a full ride. So I get to go to school for free. They pay for my classes, they pay for my food, they pay for my dorm. So I overall get everything for free. Like I get to live for free, eat for free, and you know, get an education for free. So yeah.
All right, this next question is from Mr. Ryan Smith. You mentioned fighting for wealth equality. Can you explain what that means? Why is it important to you, and how students can start thinking about financial literacy now?
So I've been a financial advisor almost 15 years now, and one of the, Buddha talked about some of the reasons that he was passionate about going into his field of study and helping people. And so when I graduated high school, went to college, one thing that happened in my life was my parents actually ended up getting divorced. And divorce is never a good situation, but what I identified is that money played a big part in that scenario. And so when I came out of college, I'm like, hey, how can I be in a position where I can help people like my mom and dad and people from my community? And I identified that being in finance might be one way to fight that, might be one way to help that, just having conversations. So as I learned, grew, got experience, I had all these tools that I could now go back into my community, work with organizations, and figure out ways to help financial equality, social equality. And so there's a number of ways that we can gain equality. You need job equality, salary, fairness in salaries for our community. You need housing equality. We need access to resources, access to capital. So there's a lot of ways that we can gain equality from a financial lens. The way that I fight in that space is through generational wealth equality. And so there's a lot of things that we can do to, one, build our wealth. I really, really strongly look at budgeting. And I honestly just kind of going back to the conversation around just talking about it. So a lot of people don't talk about money. They don't talk about money with their friends. They don't talk about money with their family. They don't have a resource they can go to and talk about anything when it comes to money. So they sometimes either just make decisions based on Google or like, hey, I just don't know, so I'm just going to do whatever, or sign this dotted line. So I would say just talk to somebody about money. So so conversations, find a financial resource. And there's a lot of free financial resources that are available to you. Financial literacy is a big part of what I do professionally and a big passion of mine. So we go into sometimes classrooms, sometimes we're going into organizations that we partner with, churches, etc. So just find, there's a lot of information. I would imagine most of us, if not all of us, have phones. Google is a good resource. You got Chat GPT. There's a lot of ways that you can go about finding information, but really trying to get knowledgeable. Knowledge is power. Find out as much as you can. But for me, once again, I do as much as I can as far as one, just being in these spaces. Everybody here has different disciplines. I want to be the money guy. I want to, hey, let's talk about money, right? No matter what we do, we all got jobs. We have to, use those resources to do different things for ourselves, to take care of ourselves. If we got goals, many of the goals that people have are financial at some level, right? So when you start getting those realms, one thing that's going to be pretty across the board when everybody graduates and they start getting a job, they're going to get money. So how much do you know about it? Are you comfortable with it? Are you comfortable talking about it? And then if you're not, who can you talk to, work with that can help you to get there? And I would say the core things that, from a wealth standpoint and wealth building, they're just core for everybody. I would say is understanding credit, understanding budgeting, and understanding how to save and invest your money. Those are the three core things that every person should either know. If you don't know, find the knowledge or find somebody to help you out with it, or find an advisor or a professional that can help you. There's a lot of resources out there.
This next question is for you as well. What role do you think mentorship plays in professional development, and how can students seek out mentors for themselves?
It's a great question. Buddha said, go back to goals. So we touched on goals a little bit earlier. So I'm a strong proponent when it comes to goals and goal planning. I have a lot of things that I kind of say and live by and have always abided by in my own life. One of them is a quote that I use: "Without a system of goals, our only motivation is survival." Right? So without a system of goals, our only motivation is survival. So I always think if I'm not working towards something, then all I'm doing is trying to eat, find shelter, and do whatever I might do for fun. I'm not working towards anything. That's the first thing. And then to couple with that is when I have a goal and I know where I'm going, it allows me to know whether the step I'm taking makes sense or not. Does that make sense? So if I know, hey, my goal is to get to that classroom back there, why would I go that way? You know what I mean? Well, I might go that way if I know it's a bomb right there. So the goal, I know where I'm going, and then the steps now knows where do I need to now go to get there. So I couple that, the kind of come back to the question, which is mentorship. Where does mentorship fit in that picture? Well, when I know my goal, right, I know where I'm going, I know what steps I need to take, or maybe I don't know what steps I need to take. Who do I ask? Do I have a friend that can tell me? Maybe, maybe not. Do I have a teacher that knows where I'm going? They may not know where my goal is. They may have no experience about the goal that I'm trying to get to. So they can't give me the information and knowledge that I need. What I need is a mentor that can say, hey, you're trying to get to that door back there. Let me tell you about that. Hey, it's a banana peel back there. You're going to slip and your classmate's going to laugh at you, right? If you go right, it's going to be a little hole. You might fall on the floor, twist your ankle, and that's going to derail you 2 more years, right? So mentorship is I don't know what I don't know. Who can I ask? And that's where mentorship fits into play.
I do want to pick on you, Mr. Smith, for another question. I'm sorry. In your bio, you mentioned being part of an organization. I'm just wondering why you joined that organization, and if mentorship had a role in that process as well.
Yeah, right. So, Mr. Williams, I believe you're talking about my affiliation and love for the Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. So I'm a member of a fraternity. I did join that fraternity in college as an undergraduate. And for me, if I just take a step back, think about goals. So when I went to college, for some reason, I don't know if I watched School Days or something else, I just felt like I should join a fraternity. So when I got to campus, it wasn't like, are you going to join a fraternity or not? It was only like, which one are you going to join? If that makes sense, right? So when I got there, I played basketball as a freshman in college, and one of my teammates, he was a Q, and so I got to talk to him a little bit. My wife now, girlfriend at the time, she's an AKA, so I was able to pick her brain a little bit. My first semester, which was a long time ago, we had a new, we call them lines, a new line of members of Phi Beta Sigma that I was able to see them come out. I got to talk to them, get to know them. So somebody, I think Sam said something about relationships. No, really, it just came down to relationships for me. I had to identify, like, a lot of the fraternities and sororities have similar ideals. They're not the same, but they're sort of similar. Like, they want to give back. You want to have brotherhood. You want to, fellowship and create those relationships inside of that group. The question is, what group makes sense for you might be different based on the relationships that you build and the principles that you identify. So for Sigma, scholarship and service was always something that was important to me. I always wanted to give back. I'm in this room. So once again, think about where I want to go. I always want to be in places where I can help people and be an asset and a value. So I know, hey, can you do a career day? Absolutely, because that's in line with what I want to do. So being a Sigma was in alignment with that as well.
I appreciate that. We have one last question that I want all of our panelists to answer before we open the floor for questions from you all. And it's just looking back at your high school career, is there anything that you wish you would have done differently, and what would that be?
You can start with me. Looking back, probably it would be looking more into scholarships, grants. College is expensive, very, very expensive. And you, like Ryan said, you don't know what you don't know, right? Like, I didn't have those tools set where someone went to college before me and could tell me, like, apply for this or apply for that. I just knew I needed to go to college to make money, so I applied and I went to college. It was that simple. However, there are a lot of steps you can take to get that funding, to get that help, to know which college is right, to know what you want to major in. Thankfully, my initial major still is something that applies to my position today, but that's not always for everybody, right? So again, right, look for that mentor when you're going into college to see, what best route you should take.
So when I was in high school, so I graduated in 2022. So when I was in high school, COVID happened when I was a sophomore. So then when I was a junior, everything was online, and then I came back as a senior. So I don't really have any regrets or what I would have done better, but I feel like I wish I would have started a club or organization here to lead for you guys, so leave my legacy. But it's okay. But yeah, that's what I would have done. So get more involved, join a club or do something with your friends. That's probably what I would have done.
I graduated last year. I feel like one thing I wish I would have done was more take my teachers seriously. Only because of the simple fact of when they said that college is nowhere near high school, I did not believe them. I was like, I'm gonna keep it P. And then I got to high school. I got to college, and I was like, yeah, I should have took them serious. I should have did my work. I wish I would have took my 10th grade and 9th grade year seriously, because that really took my GPA a lot. So when I got to my junior, senior year, I had more of me having to push back up my GPA more than anything. So I just wish I would have took my classes more seriously than anything.
Yeah, come back to me. I'm still thinking. I thought it was easy.
So I graduated, Ryan and I graduated together. We're both coming up on 20 years next year. One thing I wish that I had was access. And what I mean by access is I had a full scholarship to go to Clark Atlanta University. But my grandparents, who were my caregivers at the time, they were like, that's too far. You can't go there. So I had to go to Bloomsburg because I had no access. I had no resources, right? So if I was able to have access, right, and the tools that I needed and the connections that I needed, I could have, went to the college of my choice and had my education paid for. As a result, I had student loans, and I'm currently paying my PhD out of pocket. So, but the good thing about working for the federal government is a perk. They pay for you to go to school, right? So I encourage you all, if you're looking for a career in the federal government, hopefully that'll be for you.
I want to really give a quick shout out to Principal Calderon. His team is 12-2. Give it up for him, y'all. One of the biggest Eagles fans I know. Cowboys for life, Cowboys for life. But to answer that question, what I was saying earlier, just to take you back to my high school journey, I feel like So ninth grade, we was stuck on the third floor when I first got to Frankfurt. First stuck on the third floor, and my mindset then was really run the hallways, still act like you in eighth grade, you know, run around and be the class clown and pass you fast. So one of the biggest advices that I give y'all is really, there's no time, like when you're young, you think you got time to make mistakes. You think you got time to keep messing up, and I'm gonna get it together in 10th grade, I'm gonna get it together in 11th grade, I'm gonna get it together in 12th grade. Then you start, I'm gonna get it together when I get out of high school. Take the moment now to really like lock in on yourself, figure out what you want to do. If I could take it back, I would challenge myself more, because like I said, I was blessed in high school. I feel like just looking back to where I'm at now, I had the opportunity to play football. I had the opportunity in 11th grade to have culinary arts on my roster. I didn't know nothing about culinary arts, but I got out my comfort zone and I tried it and I did well at it, and I had a full-time scholarship. And I got a free ride to go to college from off of it. So my whole journey, and we was in the documentary. They used to follow us around with the cameras. They wound up flying us out to college. Like it was unbelievable. Like, so my high school journey was, even though I was playing around thinking it was sweet and looking up in 12th grade, like, damn, I'm not really prepared to, I had to go to college at 2 days after graduation. 18, 2 days after graduation, I had to get ready to go to college, and I wasn't ready, because I was playing around. Especially for y'all sports people in here that play sports. Y'all think just because y'all talented, that's gonna get y'all there. No, it's these grades, it's locking in your attendance, being on time, disciplining yourself. So all this stuff really matter when you're young. You might not think of it, but when you're older, you'll look back and like, yo, I should have tightened up. So I would say challenge yourself, and like Crystal said, access, have connections with people, network with all your classmates now, because all y'all gonna grow up together and own businesses and work for companies, and y'all need to know each other. Y'all need to have access to each other, because y'all is how y'all build generational wealth, what Ryan was saying. So I would say definitely challenge yourself now and get out your comfort zone now.
I always struggle with this question a little bit, because I have a strong belief that we're always where we're supposed to be, if that makes sense, right? So whatever your journey is, like whether you messed around before and then you figured it out, or my journey was pretty straightforward. I came here, and so, as a sophomore, I transferred from Washington to play basketball here. I played 3 years of basketball as a starter. I was on the National Honor Society. Like, I can't go back and say I would did a lot different, but there may have been some things I could have done differently. I think the reality is, I would just, from a principal standpoint, I always worked hard. And so if I could go back and do something different, I don't think I would do anything different. Just remember to always work hard. No matter what you do, give your best. Like, no matter what it is, just give all you got. So I coach my kids' basketball team. They're 13 years old. I'm like, yo, why would you run 60%? Why would you ever give 60% at something? I just don't understand it. Like, I just was never like built or ingrained that way. And I get it. Like, some days you don't got 100%. So I tell them that, like, yo, on days you don't got 100%, if you got 60, give me 60 on those days. But if you got 100% in the tank, why would you give me 60? You know what I mean? So I would just leave y'all with that, man. Just give 100%. If you got 100%, get at it, because you're not gonna get this day back.
Thank you to our panelists. Give our panelists a round of applause, please. I want to open the floor to you all. Does anyone have any questions for our panelists? I'll come around with the mic. I'm also giving out fruit snacks to anyone who has a question.
Can I get a fruit snack?
If you don't have a question, I can whisper one. No? No questions for our panelists?
My name's Maisha. What made you choose the jobs that you wanted to do? Like, was there ever a time in your life where you thought the path you were going to take was very different from the path you now have?
Why did you choose the job you have?
Yeah.
Was this for anyone specific, Maisha, or just for everyone?
So I remember in like I want to say I was in like high school, and I was at the mall, and there was I was at, what mall was I at? Cherry Hill. I think I was at Cherry Hill even, and I was at the mall, and I seen these adults with like people in like wheelchairs and like disabilities, and I could tell like they were at work, right? And I went up to one of them. I'm like, what are you, like, who are you? Like, what company do you work for? Like, what do you do? At the time, they worked for SPIN, which is an agency. They work for like behavioral health management. And they work with individuals with like disabilities, right? These people live in their group homes, and then they help them with daily life skills. And I knew like that was something that I wanted to do, right? So I actually applied to that job. I did not get it. I had no experience at the time. I like worked at the airport. I had no experience, so I'm like, cool. Let me go get a degree in psychology because that fits. Got a degree in psychology. Got the job. Wasn't making that much money because to them it's like it's just an associate's. So at the time I worked at Woods, which is a residential facility where the kids live that have disabilities. So I'm there with my associate's degree, working as a one-to-one. And this place houses about thousands of individuals, right? So there's a lot of jobs in this place. So I wanted to move up in the company. To move up, I needed another degree. So I went and got another degree. I wanted to move up again. I needed another degree. So I went and got another degree. So that is kind of how my path went. I keep wanting them to move up in the company. In the field that I work in, you have to have a degree, right? This is the type of field where it's who you know. You have to have that paperwork to follow it, which is why I'm going to school about 4 times. So naturally I am working in the job that I have always wanted to, just now a little further up than the original one-to-one.
I forget the initial question.
The
path? Okay. I think I make this quick. So when I came out of Frankford, I was a math major. We had this math teacher here. He was so passionate. He would like yell at us while he was like in the middle. Like, we were in pre-calculus. He was like yelling at the top of his lungs. So I'm like, oh, I'll be a math major. Got to school and realized I like math, but I don't really like equations. I like numbers. So I changed from math to finance. Overarchingly, I always knew I wanted to be in business. I knew I wanted to make money, and I knew I wanted to help people. So through finance, I was able to find that path.
I actually was supposed to be a Supreme Court justice, a lawyer, and then Supreme Court justice one day. But I remember I would always see these homeless people, and people used to always be mean to them, and I used to be like, what's going on? I asked someone their story, and he was a veteran. He had actually served this country for about 20 years, and it just broke my heart to see that he was homeless. And then I realized that there were a number of homeless veterans that were out here living on the street who had no resources, who had no access, and they were just, drifting away, being forgotten about. So for me, it was, how can I help? I looked at the veterans in my family, what they did and how they were being treated. So how can I make a difference in this world? So I started my federal career at a different federal agency because getting in government is extremely hard. I tried 3 years in a row. It's really hard. So I started at one agency in New York just to get my foot in the door, and then I ultimately transitioned to the Department of Veterans Affairs where I found my calling. And I've just been moving up through the ranks there because of, different positions that might open or promotions. But it's truly my passion because I myself was not able to serve, but I'm able to honor those by serving in the capacity that I do.
I would say the path really chose me, to be honest. When you're in 9th and 10th grade, I think my goals and dreams, you want to be like a football player, you want to do something amazing, like, be a celebrity or be like a real estate person. And then I just would say my life experience, the obstacles, just seeing like, the gun violence. I remember witnessing another person, like my one of my homies, their little brother got killed from gun violence. Just doing, when he was like 11 years old. And just witnessing that, and then like I said, I lost my friend, then going through other stuff in the streets. So really the whole time looking back at it, I was really guided to my purpose, like really learning this stuff and being able to help people and know how to deal with certain situations. That's what kind of led me to doing what I do now. And like I said, it's unbelievable, like the type of rooms I sit in to this day, the opportunities that I'm able to like accomplish. Like I sit on the board of education. Like I'd never in a million years think I'll sit on the board of education. right? I sit in rooms with billionaires, the Sixers, the Eagles. It's so crazy because I never in a million years would imagine. I mean, I never in a million years would imagine this. Like sitting where y'all was at just 10, 15 years ago. Like it's unbelievable. So really, like the path chose me to doing this type of work. I'm just blessed and I'm thankful. But really for y'all just to kind of like try to live righteous, like try to do good. You're gonna make mistakes. We all humans. But learn from the mistakes and it's gonna lead you to a great path to whatever you want to do in life.
I can clap.
That was great.
Mr. Smith, and 20 years ago when you was playing for Frankford, 20 years ago when you was playing for Frankford, was Howard your coach?
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question for everybody? Howard your coach?
Yeah, absolutely. Howard's how I got here. Howard recruited me here.
Yeah, Howard was a recruiter, right?
Without Howard, I wouldn't have been a Frankford Pioneer.
Howard, you take a trip. Last question, anyone? We got about 3 minutes left.
There's somebody right behind you.
I got a question for everybody. My name is Maurice. My name is Maurice again. So, what's y'all goals, right? Was it hard for y'all to plan your goals that y'all had? Was it hard for y'all to plan your goals that y'all had? Was it hard planning your goals? Can I test this to you guys, our college students?
I'm gonna say yes and no. Yes, it was really hard because the lack of resources. I felt like I didn't really have support. Sometimes I felt like I was like alone, but because of like my family, like my mom went to college, so she kind of told me what to do. She said, "Nisha, you gotta do this, this, and this." And you know, as a teenager, you kind of want to like go against what your mom said, but at the end of the day, I know like what. Always listen to your parents. Always listen to people that are older than you, because they don't just tell you stuff just to tell you stuff. They tell you stuff for a reason, so you don't make the same mistakes that they did. So like, yes, it was hard because I felt like I didn't really have resources, and I felt like I was alone sometimes. But just like pushing through and remembering that end goal and the end goal, I know that everything's gonna be okay, no matter how stressful life gets, no matter how hard school gets. Everything's gonna be okay if you just work hard and you just have. You see that light at the end of the tunnel. You'll pull through.
For me, I'm gonna say yes and no too, only because when I was younger, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what path I wanted to take. Then I came to Frankfurt. I took the introduction of, I think it was social justice or something like that, with Miss Bender, and then I realized that I wanted to go into a type of form of law. Now, when I was in her class, I didn't know what type of law I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and then she talked me into becoming a lawyer. So I was like, that really like stuck with me because of the social justice system that we have today and the criminal justice that we have today. So being a black lawyer is like really like outgoing for me, especially on the defense side. So with me, I was always talking to my mom like, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I'm a first college gen. So none of my other family members went to college. I'm the only one. So I feel like it really stuck out to me. And it was really hard because we didn't know what path to take or what major to do. Yeah.
Was it a different question? Keep going down. Okay. You want to do a different question?
I think I was sitting her panel actually.
Okay, cool. That's cool. Yeah.
Can we give our panelists a round of applause at the end of our panel? The time is 9:20. You are dismissed at 9:23 to go to your second period class. From now on, just hang on out in your spots. I do have an ID that is missing. If your name is Khalik Taylor, come see me at the front. Khalik Taylor. Last name Taylor. Perfect. If you did not sign in for Ms. Watson, with Ms. Watson, please raise your hand so we can come around with the clipboard. If you did not sign in today, please raise your hand so we can come around with the clipboard.